I don't think this is working for me anymore. I don't think this setup screams the quality that I want it to, and I think that we need to change that. Boom! Look at this! Look how much room I've got! This is amazing. I absolutely love it. Like, I'm so close. I'm like really, really close to the lens, but there's so much more room because of this wide angle lens. I absolutely love it. Okay, let's compare the two. Let's go back to my old setup. Oh no, this is terrible. Let's go back, please. Let's take me back. And I hope you agree that I think the audio sounds a hell of a lot better as well. Hopefully the picture quality looks good. I'm extremely, extremely happy with these upgrades. If anyone is new here, hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Jack, and today I'm going to talk about my YouTube studio upgrade. As a small channel, I don't see many of these videos. I have around 2,000 subscribers now, which I'm all very, very grateful for. But I usually see these setup videos for guys who have millions of subscribers and use so many different sets of gear. So I thought that it would be really, really useful for me to document the journey of upgrading my YouTube setup. The more and more I get into YouTube, the more I realize that gear actually does matter. Despite what people may tell you, there is definitely a standard on YouTube, and I think that if you want to compete at that high level, I think unfortunately there's just certain gear and certain things that you have to build up to over time. So back in January 2021, when I started this YouTube channel, I was using this Sony ZV1, this tiny little handycam, which I absolutely love. I have made probably 40 to 50 videos now using this camera, and it has been absolutely fantastic. I love how it's got the flippy screen and you can just look at yourself, it turns around, and it's just done such an amazing job for me. However, over time, the more and more I've got into YouTube, I've realized that this does have its limitations, particularly with the ability to change lenses. Unfortunately, with this camera, the lens is fixed and you cannot change lenses. And I was finding that there were so many different shots I wanted to do, particularly with this wide angle lens now. I wanted to be able to show off my room, but I couldn't do that with the Sony ZV1 because the lens itself is quite small and it's cropped. And I'm also very, very tall. I'm 6'4", so I was finding that I had to kind of squeeze myself into frame, and I couldn't express myself through my hands. I'm always talking with my hands. This camera has been absolutely great and has dealt with pretty much everything that I've wanted to do. I don't know if you've seen my desk video setup. I'll link it up in the card if you haven't, but I filmed all of the B-roll, all of the slow-mo stuff using this tiny little camera, and I got so many messages on that video saying that the quality was really, really high. It's also helped me grow this channel to over 2,000 subscribers now, which I am extremely grateful for. And if you are watching this and you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting that button down below. Just takes 2 seconds, just, you know, press the red button, subscribe, and you'll get to see me every single week. Win-win. However, as I said, over time, I did start to notice the limitations with this camera. The lens wasn't wide enough for what I wanted to do, and there were a few issues when it came to overheating. The recording limit was quite low, which meant that sometimes I'd be filming a clip like this and it would shut off mid-clip and I'd have to redo it. So I found myself looking into the world of full frame cameras. The only way I can describe it is, you know, those big cameras which you see everyone using and changing lenses. They're probably full frame cameras, and the majority of your favorite YouTubers probably use full frame cameras. After watching all of my favorite YouTubers, going through their descriptions, looking at their affiliate links and seeing that they all use the Sony A7 III, I decided that I couldn't spend that money. I just didn't have 3.5 grand to lump on just the body of the camera. So then I looked at the A7 III, the Sony A7 III, but that camera doesn't have a flippy out screen, which is extremely helpful, not only for talking head videos, videos like this, but I do the occasional vlog. I'm gonna try and do more of it as well. And not having a flip out screen would just make me extremely paranoid that I wasn't in focus or even in frame. After all of this research, I came across the Sony A7C, and I went into a camera shop in the center of Cardiff called Camera Centre UK. I'll link them down below. They were absolutely fantastic. I would highly recommend. And they said that the Sony A7C was essentially the Sony A7 III just in a smaller body. So I just thought that was a win-win. It had the flip out screen, it had an unlimited recording limit, which the Sony A7 III didn't. So after a chat with the guys in the shop who were fantastic and watching a ton of YouTube videos, I mean, I've spent hours over the last couple of weeks watching camera videos. It's to the point where I don't want to watch a camera video for a very long time. I decided on the Sony A7C as the camera body. Check. And then it came to the headache of trying to work out what lens to use. I wanted something wide enough for these talking head videos, as well as being wide enough to vlog and walk around with. And a 16mm just seemed a bit too wide for talking head shots. So I was torn between the Tamron 17-28mm and the Sony 20mm f1.8. I went with the Sony 20mm f1.8, the extremely fast 1.8 aperture. I think it's fast. Maybe it's fast. Is it fast or slow for the aperture? I'm still getting used to all these terms, but the 1.8 aperture, I've got it set to 2.8 at the moment, but 1.8 just really blurs this background. Like you get a whole bunch of separation. So my camera setup as I am recording this is the Sony A7C with the Sony 20mm f1.8, and I have to say that I think I made a very good decision. I think the quality looks great. The final thing that I have upgraded is my audio. Now you can't see this here, but my audio now is on, let me just bring it into shot, is on this Rode NTG video mic, and it is on a boom pole which I have now put out of shot. Let me just put this back up. Previously I was using the Rode Wireless Go, and I've actually kept that microphone and I now have it plugged into my camera, and the other transmitter part is plugged into the Rode Video Mic NTG, which means that I have this wireless boom setup, which is extremely cool, very over the top. I could have just got a long cable, but seeing as I already had the Rode Wireless Go, I thought it just made sense to keep it. I think for anyone starting a YouTube channel, I would probably recommend that you sort your audio out before the camera, because audio makes a hell of a difference. I was looking for something on YouTube the other day, I think it was a Photoshop tutorial, and I came across exactly what I wanted, but the audio was absolutely terrible. And it just made me realize audio is so important. Like I just couldn't sit through it. The audio was so bad. So I think people are much more likely to tolerate poor picture quality and good audio, as opposed to the opposite, where you have really great picture quality but really bad audio. Well, this is embarrassing. I have just realized in the edit that for the last section of the video, my microphone died halfway through. So there's me talking to you about the importance of audio quality. My microphone isn't even bloody working. Anyway, the final section of this video, before I finish it, I just wanted to talk about why I upgraded my YouTube setup when I have such a small channel. I still only have 2,000 subscribers, and now I have a camera setup that is probably worth more than my car. I also really wanted to test out the vlogging capabilities of this lens, so let's walk downstairs and set up. Try not to fall, try not to fall. So, why did I upgrade to this setup when the Sony ZV1 was fine and it would have been okay? The honest truth is that when I start a project, when I get into a hobby like YouTube, I become obsessed with it to the point where I want it to be the best that it possibly can. I felt like with YouTube that I had some money sat in the bank and it wasn't doing a great deal, and the channel was slowly starting to make some money, even though it's a very small amount considering the amount of time that YouTube takes. The channel is starting to make some money, so I saw it as a loan to the channel. I was loaning myself the money because all I was going to do with my YouTube earnings was buy a new camera setup anyway. It's just that the channel probably wouldn't make that sort of money for like another year or so. But I just thought, well, if I can get that quality now, then maybe I could grow a bit quicker. And the other thing is, guys, I just really like gear. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to tech. Like, I just really enjoy upgrading tech, looking at cameras and stuff like that. I really enjoy it, so I'm not going to regret spending the money anyway. And I think I read something or watched something the other day from a guy, I can't remember his name, and he was talking about swinging big. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I think when you can see the opportunities to take calculated risks, like this isn't a reckless thing to do, me upgrade this setup. I think it's very calculated. When I see those opportunities, I tend to go all in on them because you never know what might happen, and the downside is so small that I'm just willing to take that risk. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, I think you might like my desk setup video, so I'll put that here. I break down my entire desk setup. With all that said, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.